on the suit. Drink water. Don't drink and drive.
Game over!
Take it light. Stay.
Now you're more fluent.
He got three!
Up, Bears.
So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of First Impression Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jasmine Pollock, and today is going to be a short show today, not too crazy. It's going to be about my predictions for this upcoming NFL season by each division. So let's get started. So the first one we're going to start with is the AFC conference. We all know there's four different conferences. There's four different divisions in each conference. I'm going to start with the AFC North. We have the Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and Ravens. To me, I have the Bengals winning this division, and it's all predicated on if Joe Burrow is healthy. We all know when he is healthy, he is one of the scariest, outside of Patrick Mahomes, he's one of the scariest, if not the scariest quarterback in the AFC conference and in the NFL besides Patrick Mahomes. Two, I do have the Ravens second with the acquisition of Derrick Henry. I think their run game is going to be phenomenal. I think they're going to continue to be one of the highest running teams in the league. But the question is, when they get to the postseason, can Lamar get over that hump? He's only won two playoff games so far in his whole career. So we're going to see how he's going to do as he progresses. I do have the Pittsburgh Steelers at third. I think of course, they have Russell Wilson. They added some pieces. They drafted pretty well. But can the Steelers make that turn? I don't see them making that turn. I think they're still going to have a winning record because Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. But I don't know if they're going to be able to make it into the playoffs this season. If they do make the playoffs this season, it's probably going to be a wild card and not them being a high-seeded team. And then last, I do have the Browns. The Browns are in a bind to me. I don't know what Deshaun Watson you're getting. Last season, they have a lot of talent on this team, but I don't know if the quarterback position is strong enough right now for them to compete in this division. AFC South, we have the Colts, Texans, Jags, and Titans. I do have the Texans winning this division, leading this division with C.J. Stroud. He is a phenomenal quarterback, and we saw what he was able to do last season, Offensive Player of the Year and things like that, and Rookie of the Year. I'm just really excited for him. Then we look at them acquiring Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon, so two bona fide stars in their positions. And I think that you add their talent to this already star-studded offense, this is going to be very good for them. Two, I do have the Jacksonville Jaguars second in this division. It's kind of the same thing with the Bengals. Can Trevor Lawrence stay healthy? Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach. This Jacksonville Jaguars team does have talent, but can they stay healthy and can they keep Trevor Lawrence healthy? He is their unsung hero. At three, I do have the Indianapolis Colts with Anthony Richardson. Is he going to stay healthy? They do have a talented roster. They're still a young team, so I think they're going to be a team to mess with as well. But I do have them at third. And then last, I do have the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are in a rebuilding stage. There's not a lot going for them, so I think that they're, regrouping and rebuilding as well. In the AFC East, you have the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots. I have the Bills finishing first. Josh Allen has been the best quarterback in this division so far, but they did lose a lot of people, which includes Stephon Diggs and a lot of people on defense. So I do want to see how this Buffalo Bills team looks heading into this season, but I do have them at number one. But they don't have a huge gap between them. You have the second is Miami Dolphins. A huge contract this offseason. They still have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They still have a track running offense, so I hope that this, they can keep that steam going. Then defensively, they have gotten better. They have acquired a lot of people on defense, especially they drafted well on defense. They have a new defensive coordinator, which I think will be very good for them. But for the Miami Dolphins, it's not the matter of the talent and can they do it. It's the matter of will they do it. And this year has to be the year for the Miami Dolphins to get to the AFC Championship game and to get people from questioning them. They need to win this division. So I do have the Miami Dolphins at second. I do have the New York Jets at third. Aaron Rodgers is coming back off of that nasty Achilles injury that he suffered the first game of last season. They did sign Hassan Reddick, who is a bona fide pass rusher to that already talented defense. Then we look at their offense. They do have some weapons on the outside. They did draft well too. So for the Jets, this is going to look like. I have them at third, just based off what are we going to see from them and Aaron Rodgers this coming season. Then last, I do have the New England Patriots. This is a new era for the New England Patriots. They are rebuilding and restarting. They drafted Drake May. Jacoby Brissett will be their starting quarterback. But if he doesn't do well, expect Drake May to come in maybe in the middle of the season to, make a name for himself. But this team is still going to be a tough team. Even though I think they're going to finish last, they're still going to be a tough team to handle with. They're going to be a young team that's going to be hungry and, have some spoiler games in the division as well. I look forward to that. And two, expect them to be one of those scary teams the next couple of years coming. Then finally in the AFC, we have the West, Chiefs, Chargers, and Raiders. The Chiefs obviously are the number one in this division. I don't see why they wouldn't be. They're the defending champs. They have Patrick Mahomes, who is the best quarterback in the league currently, and there's it. And then you add star-studded receiver Xavier Worthy to the mix. Another speech that they have when last season they weren't. Last season was their lowest average percentage all across the board, far as offense. And now you added someone like Xavier Worthy who can take the top off, and you get receivers that you're able to produce. This team is again going to be scary. It's Patrick Mahomes. As long as he's there, as long as you have Travis Kelce, they're going to be a scary team. But I do have the Chargers at second. I think the Chargers are coming up. Jim Harbaugh is now their coach, and I believe he's going to put it together with Justin Herbert and be able to put this team and get them into the playoffs and make some runs. I believe when we look at this Chargers team, they're going to be very scary headed to the season. Third, I have the Raiders. The Raiders are a team to watch for sure. Defensively, I'm going to say this on the defensive side of the ball because I think that they're going to be very good on defense, and there's a new era for them as well. They did get Brock Bowers in the draft, one of the best tight ends in the college football. I thought the best tight end in college football these past couple of years. He is now a Raider. Gardner Minshew will be the starter. Gardner Minshew is a decent quarterback. I don't think he gives you an edge over against the Chargers or the Chiefs, but this Raiders team is going to cause some issues for people. They're going to be a team to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like one of those sleeper teams that no one's expecting, but I do have them third. And then last, I do have the Denver Broncos. They did draft Bo Nix. He's a veteran quarterback, in college, and I want to see how he's able to do as a rookie. But this is a year for Sean Payton. This is it. If he's not able to muster up anything, I think that's a wrap for his job. And I think that when we look at the Broncos, they're in a rebuilding stage as well. They let go a lot of people, and I think that it's going to be a big deal for them heading into the season. So I have them last. On to the NFC North. My Packers run the North. I'm going to put last night on my show, I did say I was going to put the Lions first, and I'm still going to keep them first, but it's going to be very close. I'm going to have them neck and neck with my Packers. My Green Bay Packers are going to be very scary this season. With Jordan Love being the highest paid quarterback, I expect our team to be very good, especially them getting that taste of the postseason, them making that late season run that we did last season. And on top of that, we're still the youngest team in the league. So we are expected to be a scary team. So I have the Lions first, but there's a hair behind them at second. For the third spot, I'm going to give it to the Bears solely because the Vikings are very, very injured. JJ McCarthy, we saw there's a lot of injuries and a lot of, unfortunate stories coming out of Minnesota. They had their star cornerback who they drafted. He passed away a couple of months ago in a tragic car accident. So they're going through a lot. They have going through a lot of injuries. And Addison is going through, some legal trouble as well. So the Vikings are going through a lot right now. So I do have the Bears over them but because of how the Bears are constructed right now. I am not saying the Bears are going to be this take the top off team. I do think they're going to have some highlight reels. But I think that Caleb Williams and this team, they're going to be a young team that's still learning and things like that and give them some time to develop. So I have the Bears third and the Vikings last. In the NFC South, we have the Bucs, Saints, and Panthers. I will put the Bucs at first because they have been winning the division, even though the division has been very, very lackluster. It's been a very nail-biting who gets the win type of division. But I do have the Bucs first, just based off of them winning. But I do have the Falcons as a dark horse team in the NFC, so I have them at second. They're a team to watch out for. They have Kirk Cousins, and then they drafted Michael Penix out of Washington. We know he's a very good quarterback, and we saw what he was able to do for the past couple of years in college. They do have their defense has bolstered up. They have Simmons from the Broncos and Judon. They have a lot of good pieces on the offensive side of the ball as well. So we look to see that this Falcons team could be a very scary team heading into this offseason. I do have the Saints at third in this division because the Saints are still trying to figure things out as well. They have not made that turn that I expect them to make with Derek Carr, so I have them at third. Then I do have, unfortunately, the Panthers last. The Panthers are in rebuild. They're in a very sticky situation. I do feel bad for Bryce Young, but they can make something happen. We'll see, but I do have them last in this division. In the NFC East, I have the Eagles number one. The Eagles are going to be number one. They're going to be back healthy. Last season was a down year for them, but they're going to be back and ready to go with the acquisition of Saquon Barkley. They did get their defensive coordinator back, even though there was a lot of disappointing things that happened. There's a lot of risks with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and everyone, but I think this team is going to get it together and they're going to win this division. I do have the Cowboys second, obviously, just because they've been winning. But when it comes to the Cowboys, again, it's the same question. They haven't been able to get to an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl for 20 plus years, so I think that trend is going to continue. The Cowboys are looking to sign a lot of people. A lot of people are looking for big contracts. Jerry Jones, it seems like he's not moving on a lot of things. So there's a lot of things happening with the Cowboys, but I still have them at second. I do have the Commanders third. The Commanders are a team that are up and coming as well. They're in the same boat with the Patriots. They have Jaden Daniels as their quarterback. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he was able to do. I expect to see highlight reels from him. They do have Terry McLaurin over there, who is another underrated receiver over there. So I'm really excited what the Commanders are going to do. And this is going to be a team that we're going to see as we progress. They do have Dan Quinn as their coach now. So I expect them to, be a team that's going to be on the rise very soon. Last, I do have the New York Giants. The New York Giants, a team that everyone expecting to turn the corner. I don't see them turning the corner with Daniel Jones, and they're paying him a lot of money, but I don't see them turning that corner. However, I do have a player that you need to watch for, Malik Neighbors. I expect him their first round draft receiver. I expect him to be very good, especially what he was able to do in LSU. I expect him to have some of those very big highlights and very good season. So look out for Malik Neighbors for the New York Giants. Last but certainly not least is the NFC West. I had the 49ers first. They've been the team in the NFC for the past couple of years. I expect them to do very well, but this thing that we're watching right now is Brandon Ayuk, and if he's going to be a 49er heading into this season. He's wanting a trade. He requested a trade, so we'll see what teams are going to make a bid for him. I know they've made some bids, but nothing has landed yet. And of course, they signed my guy Ricky Pearsall from the Gators. He's another good receiver that I expect them to utilize in this offense at slot and different things like that. So I'm really excited for him. I do have the Seahawks at second. Geno Smith is still there. And I think that he had a very good season last season, just seeing what he was able to do. And they still have Tyler Lockett and that guy Metcalf. So I'm really excited to see what the Seahawks are going to do, and I think they're going to be a team to watch. They drafted very well, and they added some pieces. So I'm going to look to see what they're going to do. But it's not very far from the Rams. I have the Rams at third, but the Rams are another dark horse team. This team has emerged. I like what I saw from what they were able to do last season with Puka. I'm really excited to see how he's going to do in his second season. He is a lethal star. But we all know Aaron Donald did retire, so that's a big void on their defense that they're going to miss. But they've added some pieces, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. But I do have them as a dark horse team, so I have them at third. But don't be surprised if they get into that second spot and cause some problems for other teams. Last, I do have the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals did draft Marvin Harrison Jr., and at for the fourth overall pick. So I'm looking to see how he's going to do. That's another player to watch, obviously. And a player that was going to be on everybody's fantasy team and things like that. So definitely look out for him. But when we look at the NFC West, it's always been a division that's been competitive. It's always been a division, no matter who's last, always causes problems. So this is going to be a very tough division, but I do have the Cardinals last in this division. And I think that they're going to cause problems, but I do think they're on the up and coming as well. That wraps up the NFL predictions that I have. It might change as the season goes along based off of how everyone looks. I'm really excited to see, and I think overall this is going to be a very good year for the NFL, and I look forward to seeing a lot of these star players do very well, especially a lot of the rookies that have come in. I'm looking forward to this NFL season, and we're going to see who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to make a Super Bowl prediction yet. The Super Bowl will be held in New Orleans this year, so I'm going to see who I like and who I'm picking. So we're going to see. So that wraps up the show. Thank you all for your viewership. Thank you all for your support. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time for more sports talk. Have a good week.